This video is my votes for the Game Awards. I'm only voting for categories that I played at least one of the games in, or give a shit about. As such, these categories will not be voted on in this video. So if you care about these categories and only these categories, this isn't the video for you. Alright, so first one that we actually care about that we're going to vote on is Content Creator of the Year. The three that I know are Kai, Critical, and Burnt Peanut. Burnt Peanut I haven't seen enough of to know whether or not he is a Creator of the Year level creator. I know he did a lot of shit with Arc Raiders on TikTok, but I haven't seen enough about it to know if he deserves a caliber of Content Creator of the Year. For me, it's between Kai or Charlie, and you might think I'm a normie because those are the two most popular, but I truly think it is between those two. They are the two biggest on the list, and between those two, I would give it to Charlie. As my personal vote for Content Creator of the Year, I find Charlie to be more entertaining than Kai. I watch his videos more often, and that is just who I will be voting for Content Creator of the Year. Most anticipated game. There is only one answer here. It would be a sin based on the past year, or couple of years, or even several years, to give any other game the vote besides GTA 6. It's all over social media. In every comment section, you're gonna see stuff about, we got so-and-so before GTA 6. I didn't even know that there was gonna be a Wolverine game, nor another 007 game, nor a new Resident Evil game. We move on to Best Adaptation. Now, a lot of you are actually going to be surprised with my vote on this one, because it is not The Last of Us Season 2. I am a major The Last of Us fan, if any of you have been sticking around for a while, but the one I am not voting for is not Season 2 of The Last of Us. I thought that the first game was obviously better than the second game, and same thing happened with the TV show. The first season was better than the second season. I did not know that there was a Splinter Cell TV show, or movie, or whatever it is, and I heard Until Dawn sucks. Minecraft movie I didn't watch either, so my vote for Best Adaptation is going to be Devil May Cry. I watched through the entire series, and I thought it was great. I thought it was really interesting, and then almost immediately they announced Season 2, and I was excited about it, so that is going to be my vote for Best Adaptation. Next, we move on to Best Multiplayer Game. Now, I've only played 2 games on this list. Split Fiction I've heard a lot about, but I did not play it. Peak I've heard a lot about, but I have not played it. And I cannot play Elden Ring because I suck. I wish I could play Elden Ring. It looks like a great story, and, everything about it just looks amazing, but I cannot play Souls-like games for the life of me. I do not have the skill or the patience to play any Souls-like games. So, Elden Ring Night Rain, obviously, is not something that I have played because I didn't even finish the base game, let alone barely got past Market. So, the two that I can pick between are Arc Raiders and Battlefield 6. And, prepare to hate me in the comments, I didn't like Battlefield 6 when I tried it. I thought Battlefield 1 was better. So we are going to be going with Arc Raiders for Best Multiplayer Game of the Year. I still play this every so often with my friends Rhett and John. And I think it's a pretty nice game. I enjoy it. So that is going to be my vote for Best Multiplayer Game of the Year. Alright. Next we go to Best RPG. Now, I am not voting Expedition 33 for Best RPG. Now, you might be looking at me like I'm crazy. Let me preface by saying Expedition 33 is a remarkable game. It is my second favorite game of all time, only just barely behind The Last of Us. The reason I am not voting it for Best RPG is because it has been nominated for like 11 other awards this year, and there is one game on this list that was only nominated for this category, and I'm very confident it's not going to win because Expedition 33 is in this category. But I played Avowed a little bit after it first came out, and I feel like I was one of the few people on the face of the planet that actually really enjoyed this game enough to want to play it again. I was really entertained by Avowed. I put like 50 hours into my first playthrough, and I was sitting here hoping that it would be nominated for something. And this is the only category it got nominated for. Now again, I'm a realist. Is it going to win against anything like Monster Hunter Wilds or KCD2 or even Expedition 33? Absolutely not. There is a non-zero, but less than 1% chance that it happens. But I am holding out hope because I actually enjoyed the game and I think it deserves something. Outer Worlds 2 I didn't play. I honestly didn't even like Outer Worlds 1. But I've seen stuff about these other 3 games and they look great. Expedition 33 I've played through multiple times already myself. But Avowed, I hope it wins something. So my vote for Best RPG is Avowed. Now for Best Action Adventure, I would vote on one of these, but I have not played any of the games that are on this list. I didn't finish Stranding 1, so I figured, if I didn't finish Stranding 1, I shouldn't play Stranding 2. I'm in the middle of Ghost of Tsushima, so I haven't started Ghost of Yotei. I haven't played the first Hollow Knight, so obviously I'm not going to play Silksong if I haven't played the first one. Also, I've heard Hollow Knight is not like a true Souls-like game, but a little bit hard like a Souls-like game, and I suck at those. So, holding off on it for a little bit, but maybe I'll try it eventually. Indiana Jones, I heard, wasn't good, and Split Fiction, I didn't play. So, I've seen a little bit of gameplay from these 3, but haven't played any of them myself. And if I had to pick a best action adventure that combines combat with traversal and puzzle solving, I think I would probably pick Yotei. Tsushima is a great game, and Yotei looks like it follows comfortably in its footsteps. And it looks like a game that I will be playing once I finish Tsushima. Now we move on to Best Action Game. I've only played 2 of the games on this list. That is these 2 right here. I have played the first Hades, but I have not played the second one. But if it's anything like the first one, then I'll take that into consideration. And I haven't heard of either of these 2 games. So I can't say anything about whether or not either of these 2 games are good. But as for these 3, I'm going to give my vote to Doom the Dark Ages. I didn't finish Dark Ages, but I'm a big fan of the Doom franchise, and I would like to see Doom win something. And I think this is one of only, maybe 2 awards that it got nominated for, or maybe this is the only category. I don't recall off the top of my head. But I know Doom the Dark Ages didn't get very many nominations, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a nomination because I would also like to see it win something. So my best action game vote is Doom the Dark Ages. Best debut indie game. Now this is another one that I am going to vote for a game that only got 1 nomination, and that is going to be Dispatch. I loved Expedition 33, and for a studio's very first game, it is a phenomenal start, and it is going to be majorly difficult to follow in its footsteps. But I am confident that they can do it. And I loved Expedition 33. But I also really, really enjoyed Dispatch. And again, I think this is the only thing that Dispatch got nominated for, and I want to see it win something, even though it's very unlikely that it's going to win against Expedition 33 or Blueprints or even Despelote, which I heard some people enjoy Despelote. It's like a slice-of-life soccer game. I haven't played it, but I've heard some people say it's good. But between those other 3, I would be surprised if Dispatch wins, because I think Expedition 33 is going to sweep every category it was put in. But I would like to see Dispatch win something, so I am going to give it my vote of confidence as Best Debut Indie Game this year. Best Independent Game. So, in general, this is the best indie game, not just the best debut indie game, but best indie game in general. And for this one, this is going to be my first vote for Expedition 33. I haven't played either of these 2. I've heard of this one, but haven't played it. I haven't heard of this one at all. Blueprints is on my wish list, but I haven't played it yet. And I've played Hades 1, but not 2. And I already mentioned how I am about Hollow Knight. So my vote for Best Indie Game is going to be Expedition 33. Best Community Support, I mean, the only 2 of these games I've played are BG3 and Fortnite. I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy games yet. Helldivers I didn't play, and No Man's Sky I didn't play, but I heard Helldivers has a great community. Between these 2... it feels like a cardinal sin to vote for Fortnite for anything in the Big 25. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Baldur's Gate, because I also really enjoyed Baldur's Gate up until the last act, because it just got annoying. But I thought Baldur's Gate was really, really good for the first 2 acts. So I'm going to go ahead and give it the vote for Best Community, because they do a lot of modding in that community, and they do a lot of consistent updating in that community as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to BG3 for Best Community. Best ongoing game, I mean, the only one on this list I've played is Fortnite, so, I mean, I'll give it a vote for something, but again, it feels like a sin to vote Fortnite for anything in 2025. I haven't played Marvel Rivals, but I've heard some people love it, some people hate it, and then again, these 3 I haven't played. Games for Impact, a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. The only one on this list that I have played is South of Midnight, and I actually enjoyed South of Midnight. I, again, haven't played any of these. I haven't even heard of Consume Me, Lost Records, or Wanderstop, and I didn't play Despelote. So I am going to be giving it to South of Midnight as my vote for Games for Impact. Innovation and accessibility. Now, again, I didn't pay attention to any of these three games. These are the only two that I played, and I also, even in these two, I didn't pay attention to the software or hardware of the game. I play games for the story and for the gameplay, not for the accessibility options. If I had to pick one of these, I guess maybe I would pick South of Midnight, just because I remember there being more cool settings to work with than Doom the Dark Ages, but again, I didn't pay much attention to the necessary proponents to vote properly in this category, so I'm just going to give it to this one for now. Best Performance. Now, this is where we get to the big votes. I think it should go to a Expedition 33 actor. And that's not just because I didn't play these games. I think Troy Baker is an excellent actor. Konatsu Kato I had never heard of, and Erika Ishii is also a very great actress. But I didn't see any of these three in the games that they have been nominated for this year. So these three is what it's between for me. Now, a lot of people think Charlie Cox should be the winner for Best Performance, and I disagree. I just don't think he had the same love for the project that either of these two had. And I think to give a good performance, you need to actually care about what you're performing. So, as much as Gustav was a great character in Expedition 33, I can't give it to Charlie Cox for that reason. Now, between Ben Starr, who is the voice and performer of Verso, and Jennifer English, who is the voice and performer of Mael, both in Expedition 33, I think, in my personal opinion, it should go to Ben Starr. Verso is such a remarkable character and personality. He is cleverly voice acted. His motion capture is amazing, and the same goes for Mael as well. This is for Jennifer English. This is a very close vote. I think both of these characters are done incredibly well by their respective actors/actresses, and the motion capture was brilliant. The performance capture was brilliant. The voice acting was brilliant. Everything about these characters was just chef's kiss. But I slightly edge it out to Ben Starr. I think Verso was such a good game character, and I think Ben Starr deserves it for Verso. Now we move on to Best Audio Design. And again, of these 5 games, these are the only 2 I've played. Now, Battlefield Design did have great audio, but I didn't enjoy the gameplay. But that's not what this category is about. Realistically, the only one that I truly know enough about to vote for it in confidence is Expedition 33. Because I didn't play either of these 3, like I said. And Battlefield, I didn't play a lot of. I put a few hours into it, and it just wasn't for me. But Expedition 33 had incredible audio design, and it just overall was a really great experience in terms of the sound of it, not even just the story. So I'm going to give it for audio design. Score and music, we're keeping this one quick and simple. This is one of the best soundtracks I have ever heard in anything in media. Video games, movies, TV shows, even just music. This soundtrack is remarkable. And I can kind of understand if any other game wins Game of the Year this year besides Expedition 33, because this year was phenomenal for games. But any title winning Soundtrack of the Year or Best Score in Music besides Lorien Testard for Expedition 33 is a robbery. Point blank, at gunpoint, it is a robbery, and there is no other way to put it. I have heard the music for all of these games as well. Like, you don't have to play a game to hear the music. It's available on YouTube and on Spotify. I've listened to the music for all of these games, and Expedition 33 was just different. The story, the soundtrack, moved me in a way that I have not been moved since I first played The Last of Us when I was like 10 or 11 years old. It's Expedition 33 for me, clear sweep, not even a question. Art direction. Again, I haven't played enough of these games to give them a realistic chance, but I think Silksong has really good visuals. I think, just based on looking at the visuals of these games from what I've seen about them, art direction, I think, is deserved by Silksong. I didn't play anything about Silksong, but the animation of it and the drawing of it looks really incredibly well done. So I am going to put my bias aside for Expedition 33, and I'm going to give the vote to Silksong because it just looks incredibly artistically well done. Then we move on to Best Narrative. Again, I know the story of this game, and I know the story of this game. I don't know the ending of Death Stranding 2, and I haven't seen anything about Silent Hill. Knowing how these games play out, I would still give Best Narrative to Expedition 33. The story is such a knockout. It is such a hit out of the park. It is an incredible story, and if you have not played it yet, I would strongly advise you go play it. Even if you're not a big proponent of turn-based games, if it just turns you away from playing the game simply because it is a turn-based game, this one's gameplay is a lot different from something like Baldur's Gate or something like Divinity or even something like other popular turn-based games. This one is just different. I would heavily encourage you to try it because the story is once in a decade. I've heard people that say that Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is the Attack on Titan of video games in terms of the story. And while I haven't finished Attack on Titan, so I can't tell if that's true or not, it's more than just a few people that are saying that because it is massively twisting. Every single act's end could be its own game. There are 3 acts in the game, and the ending of every single act could be the ending of its own video game, and they put all 3 into one game. And I loved it. Expedition 33 is my vote for Best Narrative of the Year. Then we move on to Game Direction. Awarded for Outstanding Creative Vision and Innovation in Game Direction and Design. It's gotta go to Expedition 33. The creative vision for this game, again, was just a knockout. Like, Death Stranding 2 is based off of Death Stranding 1. There was already a formula for that. Ghost of Yotei is based off of Ghost of Tsushima a little bit, but it's a few hundred years into the future. There's a formula for that. Hades 2 is a sequel off of Hades 1. There's a formula for that. And Split Fiction, while I haven't played it, I've seen gameplay on it. And if it's between these two, I'm giving it to Expedition 33 10 times out of 10. The game direction was just, it was very creative. It was very well thought out. And playing the game through a second time unlocks more than playing it through for the very first time. Like, there is so much tension and irony and calls to certain elements that you do not understand until you finish the game and played it through again. I think that is amazing. And so I think, again, Expedition 33 deserves another award for Best Game Direction this year. Then we get to the big one, Game of the Year. It is between great game, great game, great game, great game, great game, and payoff by a shitty corporation. So we're going to pretend that this middle one doesn't even exist. We're going to look at these 5. Now, again, I do not know how Death Stranding 2 plays out. I cannot speak to its overall experience. And although I have seen gameplay on these 3, and even played the prequel to this one, I can't speak to how good the overall experiences for them are. KCD 1, I wasn't a big fan of. I didn't like the combat system. I thought it was too complicated for an enjoyable experience. It just wasn't for me. And Hades 2 just looks very similar to Hades 1 and Hollow Knight Silksong. Again, I haven't played the first one or even the second one for either of these. So I can't speak to their overall experiences. I have to give my Game of the Year to Expedition 33, and I have a feeling that if I had played any of these other games as well, I would still give it to Expedition 33. The experience was just amazing, and I cannot stress it enough. If you haven't played this game yet, or you're on the fence about it, please just pick yourself up a coffee, play it through to the very end without any spoilers, and let me know what you think afterwards. I loved this game so much, and I truly think it deserves Game of the Year. If you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments. That is my votes for the Game Awards this year. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe.